Okay, hi everyone. This is Chris from ChrisJLandry.com, and on today's blog video, I have an awesome opportunity to interview a local entrepreneur, Victoria Clements. I just met her recently at a networking event downtown in Vancouver. She's a communication specialist, a local business movie ad specialist, and producer and runway coach. Go ahead, Victoria. Can you explain a little bit more about what you do and what got you into entrepreneurship?
I think a little bit more about what I do. I think I got into acting because my mom and dad didn't really know what to do with me anymore. They realized they had a handful on their hands and said, "Let's get this hamburger out of here and get her some training." So I started training for acting when I was about 6 years old with Peter Mannering,
Nice.
who had amazing training from England. So I started kind of like on stage at 6, and everything just went from there. And then I got into drama in school. From there, I started doing a lot of set production and theater production and all of that kind of thing. I loved it. And then when I was 17, I started to get bored with having to show up to all the rehearsals and the blocking. I was going, oh, these flaky actors. I thought, I don't even want to be here for, ad nauseum, rehearsal, blocking anymore. How can I still be on stage and not have to do this? And someone said, well, you're 105 pounds and 5'9". Why don't you think of going into modeling? Which I started laughing my friggin' head off. But anyways, I went and checked it out, and they said, no, you're exactly the kind of gal we're looking for, which was great. I didn't have to memorize any lines. So, they stuck on some music. I'd had so much acting training and dance training, gymnastics, all of that. So I just naturally took to that industry. I did that and made a living at it for 22 years and was a professional runway model.
Wow.
And loved it. So that's kind of how I got into all of that, into show production.
Okay.
And then, I was living in Victoria, BC. I really loved the film industry. I loved what was going on. I fought hard to get it over there for a long time. I could see that wasn't going to happen. I had already started to do writing, producing, directing of local videos, with a lot of the ministries and stuff like that. And I was at one of the chamber meetings, and they just said, Vic, we're thinking you better jump the pond. You better be jumping over, go for what it is that you want to do. So I came over here to Vancouver, and then I started working in the film industry over here, started doing extras casting for 21 Jump Street, and a lot of those kind of things. And then kind of just moved up the rungs from there. Did a lot of writing, producing, and directing again, got picked up by a studio, and then was running things in the studio. Then went down to Hollywood for a while, did stuff down there for a bit, came back up, and then decided to take all of the skills that I had with everything I had done all my life, mainly in the arts, and turn that into marketing, promotions, events, communications, PR for people in the art, film, and fashion industries, which has always been my profession. It's what I've always done. So that's kind of my background and what I've been doing since I was 17. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I have a lot. Sounds like you have a lot of interest and you have a lot of variety. And I guess there's a lot of people who come to my blog who are young and they have a lot of talent. And what would be some recommendations you would give to young people who want to be entrepreneurs and they have a lot of interests like you do, but sometimes they feel like they can't totally express all their interests because of schooling or traditional ways of business and stuff. What are some recommendations would you give to those young inspiring entrepreneurs that kind of want to break free from that?
I would say at every opportunity, if you really know what inspires your heart and what your passion is, to just jump into that in any way you can. I understand what it's like to be busy. That is for sure. And if you're going to school, just always go back to what it is that you're passionate about. Like people have said to me, it's interesting, Vic, if I look back on your career, the one thing, even though you've done a multitude of things, you never actually really left your passion though. And your passion was always the arts. You're a true artist. So what I would say, if you're having a hard time and you're like, oh God, I'm stuck in school and I don't know what to do, and I really love to do that, but I'm stuck here doing this. Don't allow yourself, if you're a painter, to start going into like car mechanics. These are two vast different industries. Try,
Right.
if you're a painter, like maybe get into graphics, or which is a fantastic thing to get into, by the way. Everybody always needs a fantastic graphic person. But get yourself into painting, or stay in your focus. Or if you're excited about inventing things, continue on that route in whatever way possible, but always keep yourself in the focus of that industry. Don't start going to all sorts of different industries. That's when you lose the focus, and
Okay.
you kind of lose your footing under that. So that's what I would say. Just if you're going to pick something, pick at least an industry. If you can't pick one thing, like I'm going to be, this, then pick an industry where all the things you're interested are in that industry.
Okay, sounds good. Great, that's awesome. Thanks for answering that. Another question I have for you: has there ever been any times in your career where you kind of felt stuck, or you didn't know kind of what the next move was, or you felt a little demotivated? If so, how did you overcome that, and how did you keep moving towards being an entrepreneur? And how did you kind of when a roadblocks came in your career, how did you overcome that?
I've come up against a lot of roadblocks in my career. There's been some very dark moments in my life, but I've been doing ongoing personal development since I was 21. And so I've really kind of dove into it and swum around in it. Like I was saying, I very much, touch, feel, taste, lick, smell, whatever I got to do, I get in there and kind of really suss it out. So I'd have to say the breakthroughs that I've had for getting unstuck have really been in the last 4 years of my life, which has taken a very long time to get here. But I'll tell you, there's two things that I have learned that have advanced me greatly. And one is forgiveness, really understanding what that is. So if you're holding a grudge, if you're holding hatred, if you're unforgiving to yourself, if you can really grasp the knowledge of forgiveness and get past that to the love and understanding, that will advance you miles. The other thing is gratefulness. We've all been given a life, and this life is extremely precious. If you only knew it would take 14 trillion times to make another you. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
It's not 1,000, it's not 1,000,000,000, it's not 1,000,000, it's 14 trillion times before there could ever even be something close to you on the planet. So when you get your mind around that, you start to really realize self-value, and you start to be a little bit more grateful for your life. And if you can start the day, like honestly owning the day and getting up and going, wow, hey man, like I'm breathing. I can stand. I can move. I've got a roof over my head. I got food in the fridge. I got a couple of people that love me. I got something that interests me. My blood is flowing. My heart is moving. If you can really understand the gratefulness of that, I don't think that there's anything that you can't do once you're grounded in the power of that. And I mean, it takes such a long time, to really turn yourself inside out and know yourself that well. But I mean, if kids can start with gratefulness, if it's because forgiveness is a very, that's a taxing number, that one. But if you can really grab onto the gratefulness twice a day. I wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm here again. Woo! Yeah. Okay. And then at night, thanks for the day. And then I kind of like go through the day and I'm like, oh, wow, I had that conversation with that person. Hey, and that happened with that person, this and this and that. And then I also think about what's going to be happening the next day. Oh, right. I've got this coming up and that coming up, and I'm going to do this and that. It makes me thankful for what I got to experience during the day, and it makes me look forward in a positive way to what I'm going to experience the next day. So if they were to use those tools sooner than I certainly did, I think that would advance them miles, because then they start to own themselves and own pride and value in themselves as a person. And that's so important. That's where the confidence comes from, to do anything, to walk in a room, to own a room, to love other people, to help, to serve, to be here on the planet, not just for yourself, but in a way where you can actually fulfill, whatever purpose is in you to fulfill your calling for being here, kind of thing. I
Wow,
don't know. Am I
that's
making
really,
any sense, or
really
does that sound
powerful.
like I'm playing Chinese? I don't know.
No, no, that was really great. Actually, I could, as you were saying that, I felt like I needed to hear that as well for what I'm doing. It was quite powerful, and the thing is, you have a lot of experience, and your the way you speak about what how you're saying, and I feel like people could really get a lot of value out of what you're teaching from your experience, because you have a lot of experience, right?
Yeah, I do have a
Amazing,
lot of
amazing,
experience. A
amazing.
lot of amazing. It's funny. I was having this conversation with a friend the other day, and not that I want to die or anything like that, but I literally said, you know what? I mean, I honestly can say that I've had a pretty amazing time. And if by chance I had to snap and be gone and it was my time to go, I made a difference, and I
Yeah.
had a wonderful time here. It wasn't easy. I've suffered, but I still appreciate it. And I've had a wonderful time, and I'm very thankful. And that's very important.
Okay, sounds good. Um, Great. Well, I'll give you one last question. For those who don't really aren't aware about what your upcoming goals and objectives are for your career, what are some of your goals for the next 30 days, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years for being an entrepreneur? And what are some suggestions you give to other people who are looking to do goal setting as well for their career?
I think goal setting is really important. I think daydreaming is extremely important. All my apartments that I ever get into, I make sure that I'm not blocked by a wall. All of them have a view that goes for miles. Like, I can see from my house probably right over to the States, like swim.
Oh,
Like, I can see right over all the Juan de Fuca Islands. Like, my view is amazing. Now I find I need that
nice.
to, yeah, I find I need that to expand my mind. And I do a lot of daydreaming, which allows me to basically, and I laugh all the time, just copy the movies in my head. And
Yeah.
how it that's how honestly it works for me. So over the next 30 days, I would say right now I'm working with Carolyn Bruce Designs, which is an amazing local jewelry artist. She's just dynamite. I was watching her for 3 years, and finally she was ready to be represented. And so we went for it. We launched her site, carolynbrucedesigns.com, May 1st. And so in the next 30 days, we've got quite a few gallery shows with her. We're going to be creating a big show in August. She's in New Zealand right now buying the rest of her findings. We've got one of our marketing reps is going over to Europe. I'm going to be going over to Europe in July and August. We're in Paris and Berlin. I'll be doing some scouting, talking to some retailers there. And then as far as 3 months after that, hopefully we'll have everything up online, be doing stuff, moving towards LA. My whole thing is about kind of like taking my freedom and everything I know how to do on the road and actually doing something like this, what you're doing with me right now, but talking with successful business owners and getting an RV specialist, a manufacturer to sponsor me with a vehicle. And I basically get in and turn the vehicle into a moving broadcast station. I take off, I head down the coast, I talk to all these successful entrepreneurs, how you became successful, why you're so excited about it, what were some of the changes that came up, what was the thing that triggered you to get on the road to success, and do that all the way until I get into LA. And then, of course, hook up with all of my connections that I have down there and be able to talk to them at the same time, representing Carolyn down there and other artists that I represent. So that's kind of like the overall plan, I'd say, for the next 30 days, 3 months to a year. And I'll be blogging quite a bit and developing my own site out that I've been ignoring the whole time. Maybe do a bit of stand-up comedy back again in LA or something like that, where I've been invited, and just, have fun and be purposeful. Oh, I also plan to, in March of next year, go back to the Dominican Republic. These are all these pictures back here. A lot of these travel pictures that you see. Yeah. I sponsored, I've now sponsored 3 houses to be made for people living in the slums, the barrios of the Dominican Republic. And going back in March to do continued work and actually teach them entrepreneurial skills. So with whatever is sustainable within their little villages, whether it's bringing in a sewing machine or teaching them how to do jewelry, and then teaching them not only how to make it, but take it out into the street and sell it and do all of that. So teaching entrepreneurial skills to people in third world countries. So that's also a passion of mine. I'll be doing that in March next year.
Wow, that's fantastic. I would love to hear more about that when you do it. If you do blog about it, I would, especially with the, that'd be cool. That'd be a really cool experience, because I bet entrepreneurship has a different meaning for people in different parts of the world. And I'm sure you could teach them a lot of skills that could really impact their lives. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, because they've been coming from, their mindset is survival.
Right.
It's very difficult for them to switch over to entrepreneurial, because for them it's about roof over the head and food in their mouth on a daily basis.
Right.
So for them to switch out of that mindset and get into, oh wow, I've got something I can do here and turn into money and help raise my family, it's a totally different mindset. So I also have to learn Spanish in a big way.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Victoria, for doing an interview with me. Just to finish the interview, what would be the best way anyone would want to contact you or reach you? I'm going to put the link below on this video. Is there a website or a Facebook, or what would be the best way people want to reach you?
Either of those things. You can, I manage all of the communications for CarolynBruceDesigns.com. So if you were to email me at CarolynBruceDesigns@gmail.com, I get that. If you want to email me directly at my company, PoshEntertain@gmail.com. And Chris, I think you've got my company, PoshEntertainment.com, so you can put that up if you want. I mean, it's all it's all linked up, so you can get back to me. Also, I'm readily available on Facebook. I've got quite a few pages there, so I do the local movie advertising, which is a blast. So you can find me under movie advertising, or Victoria Clements, or you can find me on LinkedIn, wherever.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for the interview. And if you could just finish this interview with like one positive phrase you can give to someone who wants to start their own business or entrepreneurship, what would be that phrase just to finish up?
I would say whatever you believe you can do and see in your mind, you have the ability to do. You've been given it already.
Awesome.
So if you can see it, go do it. It's there. It's there for you.
Perfect. That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful evening. All right.
Yeah, you too.
Bye, Victoria.
Bye.
Bye.